Hello? Is that better? Should I start from the start? Sorry about that, everyone. I thought I had everything set up correctly. I didn't. Let me start from the start. I'll quickly whiz through what I was saying. Hopefully you can hear me now. Please do let me know. That's better. Thank you. Sorry about that. I've got the chat open on one laptop to my left and I'm chatting away to the computer screen in front of me. Beautiful. Let me quickly whiz over what I was saying and catch back up myself. Sorry about that. So, I was highlighting that cancer research is closing a number of charity shops because the retail sector at the moment is really struggling. Um, this isn't just cancer research, it's all charity shops, and I do feel like we're going to see a lot of closures over the next year or two. All of the websites I'm showing you today, I'll be linking down below. So definitely worth having a read. This one goes into a lot of detail about why charity shops are struggling, how their costs have increased, how staffing is struggling. So definitely have a read about that one if you have a second. But Cancer Research is closing its online marketplace, which will have an impact on eBay, and I'll mention that in just a second. The next one I highlighted was the Charity Retail Association. If you're into charity work or the charity sector, definitely a website to come and have a look at. Not only can you find charity shops in your area, so if I put Bristol in where I am, it will list all of the charity shops in that specific area and break them down. If you're visiting a new area, you're away on a holiday, perfect way to find some new sourcing opportunities. But like I said, we are going to see some charity shops closing this year, next year, possibly the year after. So having new sourcing opportunities is definitely something that we need to start looking at. And I'm hopefully going to cover a few of those today. So the first one is the eBay charity sector. Again, link down below, but this one is hard to find. eBay doesn't do a very good job of advertising this. But basically, eBay has partnerships with a number of different charity shops, and those charity shops will sell items on eBay on auction at rock bottom prices, allowing you to snipe some very good and quick deals. Mainly, it's bundles of cameras, jewelry, Lego, Pokemon cards, that sort of stuff. But they do occasionally do clothing bundles. I have seen some clothing bundles on eBay as well. I have personally brought these jewelry job lots before. If you're happy to go through and sort them, there is money to be made there. I found silver, I found gold. Other resellers have done YouTube videos on these job lots, also finding gold. So definitely worth having a quick little look. But as I highlighted earlier, Cancer Research will be closing their section on eBay, so they might be doing some special deals, some discounts. So I would personally go and have a little look at that one. They have some jewelry bundles at the moment that are going cheap, Christmas bits and bobs, rings, necklaces. You know, if you're happy to break it down and sell it piece by piece, there is probably, plenty of profit to be made. It's obviously the time element. Time is money after all, so it depends on how much you value your time by. But just a little hidden gem that eBay for some reason doesn't promote. I'm unsure why eBay doesn't promote this section on their website. But there's lots to do, lots to buy. But like I said, it's usually, as you see, camera bundles, jewelry bundles, stamps, trading cards. So if you're in any of those niches, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. And like I said, occasionally they do sell clothing in bundles and job lots as well. As you can see, Sue Ryder's got a couple of jumper bundles, dresses, hats. So I'll link all these down below afterwards, so you can have a little look at those as well. The next thing to highlight is auction houses. This is a big one that resellers are really put off by. The fees are very high. There's a buyer's premium. If you bid online, you have to pay more. It's generally very fee orientated. However, you can get a carload of stuff for a couple of £100, and that'll keep you going for a couple of months in the winter. Personally, I have brought from auction houses a couple of times. I've managed to fill my car up with china, bric-a-brac, boxes of camera parts, and been able to resell them through the winter period where the car boot season is very, very slow. It is very hard. The retail section at the moment for everyone, not just charity shops, is very, very difficult. And that's something that we are going to need to adapt to for sure. So as I was mentioning, auction houses is something that I have done personally. I've brought carloads of stuff. Tea sets is my speciality, kitchenware. But I just wanted to highlight some of the prices. So obviously, as it's an auction house, you're bidding with other people, you're bidding with collectors, but every now and then there'll be a few hidden gems that will just sneak through below their market value or below the value of what other people kind of see in them. So this job lot here, I just wanted to highlight. It's a very, random collection of cobalt blue glass. Now, to a collector, that's probably worth a little bit of money, but to a reseller who doesn't sell glass, probably, very confusing to buy and sell. And that's where Google Lens is very, very handy here. So if you're using the Google browser, open a picture up, right click, click search with Google, and it'll pop up a little search box on the right hand side. And you can just start clicking and dragging a little box over the item, and it will start Googling the item through all the marketplaces. Now, the good thing about Etsy and eBay and Vinted is they've added search by photo, which means all of your photos are quite easily searchable through Google Lens. And you can see I've searched for this ribbed sort of vase looking thing here. And there's something here on Etsy that's very similar. So if I open it up, something very similar looking is selling for £88. This bundle, I think, was it sold for £17, and that one there potentially is worth 88. It's not exact, but Glassware never is. Obviously, I could do some more research based on this listing. I could look at other listings. I can get some keywords to find just through Google Lens. We could look at some other items here. Again, I'm just clicking and dragging and seeing what pops up. Again, an Etsy listing. It would mainly be Etsy. If it's too old, it won't show, which is quite annoying, but there's usually something here to look at. This one's an American listing, again, about $20 or so. But then now I found a title, I can copy it. I can go to the UK Etsy or the UK eBay and paste it in. And it's brought up a load of cobalt blue glass. There's some things here very similar, £20, £13, £8. Obviously, that's what they're listed for. To get the solds, you want to click sold listings here on the left-hand side. And again, nothing similar looking to what I've looked up, but I can see that generally the smaller stuff selling for 10, the bigger stuff selling for about 20. So if we go back to this listing, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things there. 12 things for £17, after all your premium fees, probably £1 an item, plenty of money to be made there, maybe £10 profit per item. This very large brandy glass will be about £40 or £50 worth. There's a Vinteria one here, which isn't the item I wanted, which sometimes happens. You just have to sometimes just copy and paste things. Just gonna paste this in. I was looking this up earlier. Here's the item. £65 this person selling one of similar size for. So don't overlook auction houses. I know they can be very confusing to start with all the premiums and the buyer percentages. Because this closing bid here of £12, you wouldn't pay £12. You would pay £12 plus 20% plus 10% probably for some of them. So this would be nearer the £20 mark. But again, auction houses are generally only good if you're buying home decor, bric-a-brac, those sort of things. So let me just close these tabs a second. But this is an auction house that I've brought for. This is East Bristol Auctions in Hanham. So if you're in Bristol, this is one that I would recommend. And also, even if you're not planning to buy, just looking at what things are selling for in the auction house is also very beneficial. Because you might see some of these things at the car boot and go, oh, I saw something similar sell at the auction house for 20, 30, £40. I've personally never sold anything in an auction house, so I can't comment on that. But buying-wise, there's definitely opportunities there for most resellers when car boot season is finished or very slow. The sales room is what I would recommend to use to start with. The sales room lists over 700 UK auction houses. It just provides like a directory. So if you're not sure on what auction houses are near you, you can find them through the website here. Just have a scroll through and see which one's local to you. You can buy through the sales room. You can buy job lots and bundles of things. Just trying to see if I could find some bits and bobs to share with you. Yeah, so again, if you're into trading cards, you could buy these trading cards here at £10. They've got one bid, and the auction starts in 2 days' time, and they will ship. Everyone on this website will ship to you. You just need to read the shipping details, and it tells you kind of the pricing and what to expect. So you don't have to be near the auction house to buy from them. A lot of them will ship, especially if you use the sales room to identify them. And the best auctions to buy from, in my opinion, are the generalist auction houses where they will sell like cratefuls of stuff, banana boxes full of stuff, like this one here in Sheffield. There's some Le Creuset there for £42, some wooden oak boxes for £18. If we go back to Etsy, for example, and we just look up vintage oak boxes, you can see they're going for about 20 or so pounds. Again, if you're selling on Etsy, please do use videos. They are so beneficial to the selling of the actual item. Zipsale does support photos and videos through eBay and Etsy. So if you import an item with a video, it will import with the video attached. Yeah, the video just sells it. It's just a selling tip there for you if you're selling on Etsy. But yeah, we can see that they're selling for about £20 wooden boxes of all sorts of sizes and details. So if I brought this job lot here of wooden boxes, potentially there's 50 or so pounds profit there. And again, they're easy to ship. So don't be scared of auction houses. If it's your first time buying from them, maybe just buy one or two things. But don't drive, an hour out of your way for one auction. It wouldn't be worth your time. But yeah, there's all sorts here. Pictures, books, Port Miriam, glassware, homeware, CDs, decor, gardening tools, toys, soft plush. Again, if you don't know what you're looking at, you can use Google Lens. We can right-click this soft toy plush box here, and we can look at this brown blue bear, for example. And it's telling me it's a TY teddy bear. It's a retired one. And it's selling for £21 on this listing. Let's just see what it's actually selling for. £8, £6, £10. And how much was the auction for? £10, no bids. So again, you can probably get your money back just from that one teddy bear. There's a few other bears here. There's a few other TY bears. So again, if you're looking at something and you're going, I have no idea what any of this is, try Google Lens, because you're bound to find something on the listing of the auction listing that is on Google Lens. So this TY one here, for example, if you just click and drag, it'll just do a little drop box. This one here is the 2001 Bride and Groom. I don't think it'll find anything else because there's no real faces, but yeah. Don't be afraid of auction houses. Don't be afraid to use Google Lens to do some research. And yeah. Let's just go back to, let's see if I can find some clothing bundles a second for people. You do just have to be careful because some of them, like Age UK, sell mainly new items. The best ones, I'll say, the British Heart Foundation, Sue Ryder, and Oxfam. PDSA, I've had a few nice things from. I've got some Lego from PDSA before. They've got a few listings up. Where is it? Here we go. So this listing, for example, 7 kilos of Lego. If you didn't know anything about Lego, you'd probably be very confused about how to sell this, but all you would generally need to do is just go onto eBay and put 1 kg Lego. You can see it selling for $10.99 free shipping. You just have to calculate how much profit you earn from $10.99 through eBay after all the fees, and then sort of calculate, is it worth buying this for the price, and then maybe breaking it down into 1 kilo bundles. That's generally all I would do. But there's all sorts here, all sorts of things to look at and buy. Retired Lego sets, uh, Lego bricks by color. You just have to be very careful because the charity shops will sell things as Lego when they're not Lego. I've had that a few times myself and I've had to return it. You're well within your right to return it. I know there's always that. Or should I return it because it's a charity? If it's been missold to you, I would definitely return it. And just, get your money back in a refund. But generally, they are the ways that I would personally source stock in the winter. So again, it is using the Charity Retail Association to find charity shops, and then I would plan a route to try and do maybe 20 in a day, or maybe visit a new area and do all of those in that area that I haven't done before. Using my local auction house to identify new sourcing opportunities, new niche areas, things I haven't sold before that maybe are worth money and are worth investigating. You just have to be very careful of the fees. Make sure you do your research on how much it's actually going to cost you, because you never pay the hammer price. There's always extras added on top. Using a website like the Sales Room to identify new auction houses that maybe aren't very well advertised on Google, or if you're happy to have things posted to you, generally a 2-kilo parcel, maybe around £15 to £20. It depends on obviously what you buy, but if you're happy to sit on a site and look for different options for different sales, different marketing techniques. There's different keywords that maybe some auction houses would use that don't identify the actual product that you could maybe snipe for cheap. Obviously, there's things like jewelry, gold, and that sort of stuff as well. Using Google Lens, as I highlighted, just right-click any photo, click search for Google Lens, and you can just drag and drop over the photo to identify an item. It will always generally show you an eBay or an Etsy listing due to eBay and Etsy photo search, which is very, very helpful. And if the clickable links don't work, you just need to highlight and copy the title, which I can't do here. There we go. Just managed. It is a little bit of a faff trying to copy it, but if they don't open to anything because maybe the item is too old, you can just copy the title and then paste it into an eBay tab like so. As you can see, there's the one that I identified. Using, obviously, eBay solds is very, very good for item information and researching. You never want to buy something based on what it's listed at. It could be listed at £1,000. It may never sell for £1,000. As we've just saw, this teddy bear is listed for £20 when it's actually selling for about £8 or £9. So don't always take the listed value for things. Always look at the actual sold data. For Etsy, sometimes you'll click an item on Google image search and it will show you a sold listing, which is very helpful because you can see what it's actually sold for. Otherwise, you just need to search for it and have a kind of a look and a sort of generalization of what things are listed for. Just be very careful with Etsy. There's a lot of cheap Chinese reproductions on here that are listed as vintage. I know Etsy is trying to crack down on this at the moment, but just be very careful of certain pricing points and try and make sure you find, a reputable vintage seller to price your items based on that. And then identifying different sourcing opportunities through buying job lots and bundles, whether it's buying bundles of jewelry, bundles of Lego, breaking them down, selling them piece by piece. Is maybe a new niche that you've not done before, but it's a niche that potentially could tie you over until the car boots start up again. Just giving you a new area, a new option of profitability. Because not all sellers have a dev pile. A dev pile is very healthy to have if it's managed. There's a lot of discussion on dev piles in the reselling community. Some people say they're very bad to have. Some say they're very good to have. So, if you've got the space and it's a managed dev pile, it's there, you know what you've got. I'd say it's a very healthy thing to have. Obviously, if it starts getting out of control, then you probably would want to stop and focus on clearing it slightly. But most resellers would buy more in the summer to tide them over for the winter. But if you're looking to grow your business, that sometimes isn't always viable. Sometimes you will get through all of that backlog and need more. So just having a few different sourcing opportunities, whether it's auction houses or eBay charities, it just gives you a few more listings worth of items that you can list per month. And then the last thing, obviously, which I haven't covered here because it's such a huge market, is the secondhand clothing wholesale market, where you buy in bulk, 50, 100 pairs of jeans, 50, 100 pairs of jackets. I won't be covering that on this video because it's such a huge market. There's hundreds of different websites selling secondhand wholesale clothing bundles. With those bundles and with those companies, please make sure you do your research. Go onto Instagram, put the company name into Instagram, because a lot of Instagram clothing sellers will buy and do reviews. Obviously, check YouTube. Try and stay away from people who have maybe been sponsored by the company, because there's always questions of, have they been sent an actual bundle, or have they been hand selected certain items? But never really buy from a wholesale clothing company until you've done your research. I've personally seen far too many people get stung by bad bundles and things just not going well with them. So please do make sure you check and look those companies up. Yeah, the online marketplace is definitely huge at the moment. So I'm going to answer some questions for 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, whether it's sourcing related or Zipsale related, I can answer them to the best of my ability. If you're here and you need to now go, that's also fine. To claim your £10 for watching this live stream live, please send a ticket message to Marilyn and just say sent from live. So all you need to put, 3 words, sent from live, and she will add £10 of account credit to your account. This is only valid until midnight tonight, and then we'll make this live stream available for everyone to watch. So please do make sure you do that as soon as possible. If anyone has any questions, I will answer them. And like I said, I will make sure the links to everything I've covered today, the cancer research article, and there's another article I found which was very, very beneficial, and it shows the decline in charity shop revenue. I'll put that in the description below. Send to who? On your Zipsale account, I can't do one here because I'm not logged in. On your Zipsale account, in the bottom right-hand corner is a chat box message to make a ticket. That's Marilyn. She does all the support questions and tickets. Send a ticket through and she'll answer it. You can also send an email to team@zipsale.co.uk and that'll send a ticket through as well. You just need to basically tell her I've sent you from the live stream and she'll sort it all out for you. And if anyone has any ideas or things they would like to see covered in the live streams, please do let us know. We're looking for any ideas you might have. We're also going to be looking at some speakers soon, whether it's a speaker from Depop or a speaker from eBay. We're going to try and get hold of someone from one of the marketplaces to come and chat to you, to give you some sales techniques, marketing techniques, maybe some tools that you're not using from, a person from that marketplace specifically, so you get the best information possible. But if no one has any questions, I will leave you here. Please do remember to claim your £10 credit by sending a message to Marilyn, sending a ticket, and you can do that again through the chat box in the bottom right-hand corner of your Zipsale account, or you can send an email to team@zipsale.co.uk, and Marilyn will send you a message straight back to say it's been added to your account, and that's only valid until midnight tonight. So I'm going to round it up here. Thank you everyone for watching live, and hopefully I'll see you next month for another topic. I think next month we're going to be doing potentially marketing with like eBay advertising and all that sort of stuff. And I'll see you all. Oh, what brands will I never buy? Generally, you want to stay away from high street brands, supermarket brands, if you're on about clothing. I generally sell home decor, so kitchenware, like teacup, saucers, and that sort of stuff. Your best ones are like your Denby, your Royal Doulton, your Royal Albert, your Wedgwood, Cold Cuff, those sort of ones. But there's a very, very long list of what not to buy. The best way to generally find that information out is go on eBay, think of a brand, pop it in, and then go to sold. So if I just quickly show you what I mean. So if I just put George Men's Clothing in, for example, and I'm on solds, and if I go to used, where's used? I don't know if I can. 1 second, let me use next, if I can do next, if that pops up. Here we go, used. Sorry, I couldn't find it earlier. So just pop the brand in, whatever you're looking for, whether it's men's clothing, women's clothing, sort by sold, and then have a scroll through. Also sort by UK only, wherever that is on here these days. eBay keeps moving stuff there. So you can see someone selling a bundle there for £15. So next tops may be worth avoiding. Bundles here, generally lots of bundles. So next probably not a good one to buy. But if you then do something like the North Face, this is how I learned when I started reselling. I just popped a brand into eBay, checked the solds, had a scroll through and went, that's an okay brand, that's not. So, £50 there, £25, £41, 20, 31. That's generally all I have personally ever done to build my knowledge, especially on like auction houses, like Minton. There's a Minton tea set here. I would just copy that, pop that into the eBay search bar, and I'd have a scroll through and go, okay, so some Minton stuff is worth a lot. Maybe some vases, I'll keep an eye out for them. But this pot here is not really worth anything, so maybe I wouldn't look at that. There's also not many solds for Minton, so maybe I wouldn't bother because I've just took the solds off and there's lots of listed. There's 24 listed, but not many sold. So personally, Minton, not a brand that I would pick up because there's not really any sold and there's not really any listed. The listed price is also very varied. There's one for £8 here, but there's one for £20 here. There's no consistent sales and there's no consistent pricing point. So one I would avoid personally. But if I do Denby, and I go to sold on Denby, if I can find it, it moves every time. I'm sure it moves every time I search something new. You can see that depending on the pattern, there's £20, £16, £10, 17 there for 2 plates. So Denby is one I would pick up because I know that if I buy 4 plates, I could probably do a set of 4. Or if I pick up 5 plates, I could do a set of 2 and a set of 3. Some colours obviously here, as you can see, £1 maybe don't sell as well. So I'd try and remember those. But generally it's between 15 and 30. So I know that Denby dinner plates, I'd remember that in my head. If I see them at the car boot, I'll go, oh, I looked them up. I know they're worth so-and-so. I'll pick them up and buy them. And also a lot of it is knowledge. The more you sell, the more in your head you're going to go, well, I've sold a Next jumper for £50 last week. So I know that this one is very similar. It's the same material. It's the same size. It's the same color. I know I should get maybe a similar price. So it's something that will just build as you sell and buy more. But I still buy things that I regret buying because they are, they're duds. Maybe I thought they were special and they ended up not being so. So it's definitely a learning curve, and it's very confusing if you're constantly having to adapt. The fashion market is constantly changing. The homeware market is constantly changing. Brands go in and out of fashion all the time. So, yeah, all I can recommend is just keep checking the brands against the sold and seeing kind of what they're selling for. But yeah, that's generally how I personally do it. What are the 3 words again? Sent from live, or just from live stream. Just mention the live stream in any way. Marilyn will know what you're on about. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.